Howdy, Redesert Boy here. I was sitting here today and I was kind of thinking about this topic about, micro compacts and how that's affecting us. And so I began thinking about, are we being affected by micro compact carry complacency? And the reason why I bring this up, and I have my Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus here, as we can see there's no magazine in it, and it's empty. We'll go ahead and we'll lock it open. So we're talking here today. The reason why I bring this up is I was thinking about my carry routines. I have a rotation. Now some people do not have rotations, and there's a whole set of things you should be thinking about, circumstances and everything whenever you are carrying, from my opinion. Remember, these are my thoughts and opinions, and just as a hobbyist and enthusiast, and so you need to do your own research and get your own thoughts about that and talk to your own experts. But since we've had the micro compact kind of revolution, where we got this kind of stack and a half type magazines where we can carry 10 rounds pretty much in a much smaller space than we used to have, I just began to ask myself, is that making us complacent in our carry? The reason why I bring this up is I started thinking about, as you can see today, I'm wearing my Springfield Armory hat. I was thinking about my carry rotation. And so when was the last time I carried my Springfield XDE, right? Now I do also carry sometimes I don't carry it as often, the Springfield, but I also carry more frequently the Ruger LCR, and now this Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, and occasionally I also carry my Colt Detective Special, but and then my Sig Sauer P938. Now I have a routine for going through when I get ready to change my rotation, but everybody's got their own ways of dealing with it. So I thought I began thinking about this mainly because for quite a while it'd been like every day I got up, I'm like, okay, I'll just put the Smith & Wesson on. It's got 10 rounds. I can carry a backup magazine with 13 in it, or I can put that magazine in it if I want. And when you go about the whole concept of carry, first of all, it just begins with, should I even carry at all? Or what's the circumstances I should carry? Or, what am I doing that constitutes that this is okay to carry? And everybody has to answer those questions for themselves. Get the training and everything they need, and comply with all the local, federal, state, and federal firearms laws and permitting and any CCWs you need and so forth. But the reason why I bring up this carry complacency, it just starts becoming kind of easy. I'll just take that one because I got at least 10 rounds and I can have more, maybe up to 15. I think some of the magazines now for some of the small carries are. The micro compact carries kind of made it where it just kind of becomes this maybe automatic choice. Much like most likely when people first got clocks, the 19 was much smaller than a lot of them. People were probably like, I have to carry a Smith & Wesson Model 59 going way back some years, heavier guns in 1911 or a revolver or something like that. And so I just had to think about, am I really making the right analysis? Now, in human performance, there's one of the rules they have in trying to determine, what people are doing as they go about whatever business that they're doing, or if there's safety, or if there's issues that come up. One of them is called the questioning attitude. And I just asked myself, are we having a proper questioning attitude when we're thinking about carry? Because it becomes kind of automatic, or maybe just the easy thing to do to say, well, this gun's big enough, it has enough capacity, I shoot it well enough, I'm very comfortable with it. Nothing wrong with that. But the question is, you should always be asking yourself, if you are carrying, right, you should always be thinking about, is this the best carry for the situation I'm in? And for example, a lot of times people like carrying, say, something like the P938 or something like the Ruger LCR or the J-frame, because they may even be more concealable even than some of the micro compacts. Not, they're pretty close, but you just want to make sure, or do I really need, maybe I do need a full-size capacity. Now, I personally believe that carrying is focused on self-defense, and self-defense to me is generally 5 to say 8 rounds, maybe 9. When you get into the 10 plus range, if you looked at it from certain perspectives, you could maybe make the argument it's not as defensive. So I'm just saying that we ought to be making sure that we're having this questioning attitude, making sure we're making the right assessment for what we're doing, that we're carrying the right weapon for it. And I'm going to hold myself accountable to that as well, because like I said, well, sometimes I might say, well, I just, all I need is personal defense. Most personal defense shootings are, less than 5 rounds. I think they're 3 rounds or 3 to 5 rounds, something like that, in most cases, unless you have bigger concerns, when you might want to carry a full normal capacity, which, nowadays would be considered probably 15. So you just need to make sure you're thinking about what you're carrying and why you're carrying it. I think it is easy to become complacent about carry, to be complacent about practice, with ammunition being the way it is, sometimes hard to get, or we're trying to be cautious with burning through too much of it, or we're trying to control the budget on it. We need to make sure that we're getting all the practice that we need, and not just kind of taking it, as I'll just take that because that's the most convenient, and that's just, I'm used to doing that. I don't have to change my holster or any of that. Those are not all the reasons why, that you should be carrying decision. Just need to make sure you're making the right analysis. And I think all of us try to do that. And once again, coming down to, should I even carry at all? So, just something to think about. This has been on my mind, and it made me think about it because I was trying to remember, yes, I've carried my LCR, but it's been a little while, haven't carried the XDE, which is the Springfield Armory. Carried my one of my 1911s in between for a couple of days. But, should it be 45? Should it be 38? Should it be 357? I generally don't think of that as better maybe than 38 plus P for defensive purposes. Or should it be 9mm? Or maybe even a 380 in the circumstances. So, once again, I just bring this up. Are we being affected to the point where we're kind of entering into this micro compact carry complacency, starting with the, SIG P365, and then followed by the Glock 42 and 43, but then when it expanded to be the 43X, and then we have the SIG, XL, and next thing you know, we have the Hellcat, now we have the Shield Plus, we have the Ruger Max 9. A lot of times it is easier, and there are a lot of good reasons to carry these guns, but I just want to make sure that we're all thinking about that and giving it the due consideration. So just something to think about from Reed Desert Boy, just sitting here, and just as always, I'd just like to remind you, be safe out there, whatever you're doing. And if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.